Give yourself permission to assess where your relationships are at and to make changes where you feel they need to be made. Have the conversations you need to have. It could mean that you need to share how grateful you are for the friends in your life and what they mean to you.
Hello, and welcome to the Connect podcast. This show is all about helping you connect to your soul's calling so you can take action on it. Because the sweetest success is a blend of discovering your purpose with the inner drive to bring it to life. I'm Sheila, health coach, lifestyle entrepreneur, and mom of two, best known for my online wellness programs, mentoring, and self-love passion. Listen in for inspiring interviews, solo chats, and Q&A sessions that will move you past overwhelm towards what lights you up. Stop accepting good enough and go for your version of great in your health, business, and relationships. Let's get started.
Hi, and welcome to this Monday mini-sode where I share a thought designed to elevate your mindset as you live into what lights you up this week. Today, we're talking about a shift in thinking about relationships that can improve your life. You have all kinds of different relationships in your life, and each one of them serves a different purpose for you and for the other person. Very often as a young woman, it was modeled for me that a really good friend or partner in life was meant to fill all the different roles of relationships in my life. But that's a lot of pressure to put on any one individual. So ultimately, what has helped me is to look at all my different relationships and recognize that each one of them has a different role and a different part of myself is expressed within that relationship as well. This takes a lot of pressure off and opens both you and the other person up for a much deeper connection and more meaningful interactions. It also makes the time you spend together much more easeful because you don't have unrealistic expectations. So when you consider your relationships through that lens, bring to mind those relationships in your life that you're struggling with, the ones that you want to be better, but for some reason they lack depth or commitment, or you love them so much and you know they care about you, but you're feeling a disconnect. Could it be that you're expecting too much out of that relationship? Or could you be putting something onto that person that's not realistic or necessary for it to be a good relationship? Or are they expecting too much from you? For example, I have a number of good friends who are in the coaching and wellness space, and when we get together, our conversations are typically about those things. We can go really deep on those topics, and we also know each other on a personal level, yet the focus is more on that specialty, and it's just really nourishing. These conversations do a few things. They remind us of what we're good at, how the work we're passionate about is helping people, and it brings to mind stories that support that. We confirm each other, and it also gives us an opportunity to look more deeply at the things that are coming up, like new research or findings, and it's just really enjoyable. But then if I were to take that type of conversation and transfer it to a conversation with a different really good friend who I've known for a very long time in my personal life, it wouldn't be fair for me to expect the same level of dialogue in those relationships, right? In those types of relationships, it's more often about memories, inside jokes, things that we've experienced through the years, and ways we've grown, and comparing now to then. It's a different kind of relationship. In the same way, it wouldn't be fair for me to sit down and have a really deep dialogue with my kids about every little nuance of the self-care or podcast world, unless they specifically asked, because while I attempt to practice the principles I teach in my home life, our relationship involves mostly other things. Now, in full disclosure, in case my boys are listening, I've wandered down this path with them on occasion as I've been their teacher since they were tiny, so teaching has been a big part of our connection. However, I've learned over the years to share tidbits from time to time instead. It's my joy to listen to what's coming up for them and to cheer on their ideas and experiences. Every relationship is different, and we can have different expectations with each one. This perspective shift can really improve relationships because it allows you to do a few things. It allows you to go deep on certain topics with certain people where you share that interest, and it can strengthen that relationship. Also, respecting the nature of your relationship will help you have more realistic expectations from each other. And it also helps when you have different relationships that open you up to new parts of yourself, new interests that help you learn and to ask questions. All of this grows you as a person. And when you do that, you find your relationships get even deeper. The other side of it is you may realize that if you're always having to force a relationship or force a conversation, if you find that getting together and being on the same page is really difficult, maybe it's time to rethink the relationship. Maybe that friendship has come to the end of its season, or maybe it's one that you'll revisit down the road. As our life moves on and as we grow and experience new things, it's possible to outgrow people, and that's not something to be sad about. It's something to celebrate. The fact that you're growing and that they're growing, knowing that doesn't mean that you're not friends anymore, and it doesn't mean that you're never in touch, but maybe the amount of time you're spending together will be less. The idea that once you have a friend in your life, you need to be in touch with them every single week for the rest of your life is not very sustainable for you or for your friends. I've had friends who've been in my life for many, many years, and we're in touch sometimes not very often, but whenever we do get in touch, it's like we just spoke yesterday. Do you have any friends like that? Then I have friends who've been in my life for seasons, and the season has come to an end, and I'm always open to the fact that that relationship may begin again. But when someone's showing me that they're ready to move on into a different phase of their life, I honor that. This is the loving thing to do, and it opens us up to new opportunities and new phases of our own life. This perspective can be really helpful when you're entering a new relationship or when you're looking at reevaluating an existing relationship. We often put off even thinking about these things because we never want to be considered a bad friend. We want to be there for people, and that's honorable, and it's also not possible to be there for everybody all of the time. Give yourself permission to assess where your relationships are at and to make changes where you feel they need to be made. Have the conversations you need to have. It could mean that you need to share how grateful you are for the friends in your life and what they mean to you. That's always a great thing. There's always room for this kind of celebration. One of the best indicators of self-care is being there for yourself first so that you can best be there for others. Consider what being present in your various relationships looks like in real time and what is sustainable in your life with your family and work responsibilities. I'd love to know how this landed for you. Have you found that there have been many times where you've had different seasons in your relationships? Have you had a friend in your life fall out of touch, but then you got back in touch again? How did that impact you? I'd love to hear what this looks like in your life. Please let me know by tagging me at Sheila A. Botello on Instagram or sending me a direct message over there. I'm celebrating your ability to have a deeper connection in your relationships by shifting your perspective about what's possible. Also, if you haven't already subscribed for updates to be the first to know about my new online community, go to sheilabotello.com/subscribe. You'll see it in the show notes, and you'll be hearing from me very soon. Have a great rest of your day. Big blessings.
Thank you so much for being here with me on the Connect podcast. If you like this episode, please share it with someone you think would enjoy it. Also, if you head over to iTunes to leave a review, I'd be so grateful. Let us know what your favorite parts were and what you'd like to hear more of. It will help us have a greater impact, elevating many more people to grow and succeed together. See you next time.